Hi everyone, Michelle Fixit here. This is going to be a video on Tomcat rat and mouse killers. These are child and dog resistant and they're refillable stations. Being someone who has multiple rental properties, I think these things are amazing. So you open the box, you have a refilling station. It has a view thing right here so you can see. The way that this stuff works is pretty yuck. And they basically eat these little green things. It's poison and it kills them. So there are a lot of different rat and mouse remedies, and this is the one that I've just seen works the best. So you're going to open up the squares, put gloves on, or be overly careful like I am. On the back here, you're going to push this down, and then you're going to pull these up at the same time, so like that. So there's a push right here, so you push, and then you pull these guys. Anytime you're in a big city, it's going to be a problem. It just is. The rodent population gets out of control because people like to leave trash out. What I like to do, so I don't have to do the gloves and stuff, is I open it up at the top. I use one of the pokey things, and I will slide this in, give it a scooch, and then I will flip it around and do the same thing over here. It smells like chocolate chip cookies if you are so inclined to smell it. Rats, rodents, mice, they love this stuff. So you want to make sure it's completely secure. You push it back in. You want to make sure that everything clicks, because if everything doesn't click, it's not secure. And you want to give it a little tug because you want to be worried about your animals and stuff like that. This one is not set in there the way that I want it to be, so all you gotta do is pull it out and then push it back in. There you go. And then you can see when they have eaten it, when they have not. So I have a few of these bait stations because sometimes when you regain a property, it has a rodent problem that it didn't previously have. Because sometimes people like to leave doors open all the time and just do all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm refilling my station, or getting stations and filling them, and then I will refill them until the problem is gone. There are other ways that you can remedy having a rodent problem. This one, I will set these up in multiple areas of the property and keep checking the refill stations. And then I will also put them around the perimeter of the property. When the property is rented, it will also have them on the perimeter of the exterior of the property. And then in convenient locations, I will also keep them in there just in case anybody sneaks in the future. But when you get into a situation where, you know, you're working with an eviction and you can't have access to the property, you never know what's going to happen to the property when you are not able to come over and check your rat traps or your rodent traps or anything. Because if you are a landlord and or property manager and you have these in different places around the perimeter of your property and the inside of your property, and they stay like this, 9 times out of 10 you don't have rodents. Or you could have tenants that are overly feeding the rodents by leaving stuff out. So sometimes infestations and problems are because of the occupants of a household. The other remedies that you can do, and I have tried, which vary for me and what I will and will not want to deal with, is some people will humanely catch and then release the rodents. Sometimes that works well, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they will go right back to your property and you'll be catching the same rat or mouse or whatever over and over again. So that doesn't really remedy your game. Then you just get stuck in a perpetual cat and mouse game, which I don't think a lot of people would want to be part of. You can also do the sticky traps. The sticky traps, in my experience, are very sad, and they upset me because sticky traps trap the rat or the mouse, and then it, or lizards or whatever animals are in your house, and then it slowly starves to death, which is not very humane in my book. You also have the snap traps, which can pose an issue to your pets and possibly to your children if they have access to them, so I stay away from those. Plus, you can also just kind of injure yourself in the process with those things. Like, there's just a bunch of stuff. There's another kind of rat poison that promises to lessen the smell after it kills the rodents. I've used that in the past, and it basically like creates a hyper mummification process where it just overly dries out the rodent, and so it lessens the smell. There's a bucket thing where you can have a bucket and have a little walk thing, and then they get stuck in the bottom of the bucket. I always have houses with pets, and so being that I always have pets in the property, that wouldn't work well, because as soon as the mouse or rat was caught in the bucket, then it would probably get toppled over by a pet that's very curious about it. So this type works best for me because, and I know how it works, unfortunately, it is not one of the fun things that I have to experience in real estate, but essentially the rodent will eat the poison, and then it creates brain edema, and it creates intense thirst. And so the more the rodent drinks, the faster they will pass away, and then they are gone. And so it is a very, it is a faster way, because it also, from what I've read, makes them feel a little bit intoxicated during the process. And if you've ever seen, they call them sick rats, walking around, they are not doing nocturnal stuff, which rats are more nocturnal. They're walking around kind of wobbly. They probably ingested some type of rodent poison, and they are looking for a water source so that they can drink, and then that will cause them to pass away at a faster rate because of the brain edema. Unrelated but related, in the event that you have an animal accidentally ingest rat poison, you need to look up how much peroxide to give. Like if it's a dog, dogs are not good at inducing vomiting, so you would give them peroxide as soon as possible, contact an emergency vet, and get them to vomit up as much of the poison as you possibly can. But if you're doing stuff like this, and then all of these like little refillables, if you're keeping those out of reach for your dogs and your cats because they will want to eat them, then hopefully you will never have to experience that. So I'm very choosy about where I put things that have the potential to be bad for animals and children. So you guys like and subscribe. Have a fantastic day. I will see you next time, and I am off to put these rat traps in different places. See you next time. Have a great day. Bye.